Ladies and gentlemen, hello. It is Thursday. Thursday, the 8th of April, the year of our Lord, 2021. Oh, fuck. I've forgotten how we do the intros. My name is Lawrence Hobbs.
My name is Theo Dehaney.
Oh, we are so out of sync. It's so ridiculous.
Oh, we are so out of sync. It's so ridiculous.
Oh, this is not funny. Stop trying to make a joke
Oh,
out of
this is
things that
not funny.
aren't funny.
Right, I'll stop trying to make a joke out of things that aren't funny.
This is really upsetting. Like I can
Don't.
see that right now. You told me not to worry, and there's going to be a pause of about 10 seconds, and then I'm going to say, "I told you." I know you just told me not to worry, but there's been a pause of about 10 seconds where you told me not to worry.
And then what's going to happen?
Well, you're going to say, and then what's going to happen, and then there'll be a pause of about 3 or 4 seconds, and then I'm going to say, and then you're going to say, and then what's going to happen, and there'll be a pause of about 3 seconds before I say, and then you're going to say what's going to happen. There'll be a pause before I say, and there's going to be a 3 seconds before I say, and then what's going to happen is, and then we're going to go forever.
This is great, man. We can do this for the whole 3 hours. This is sorted. You've got this.
We probably could. I'm gonna. This is
And then whenever
actually
you
ridiculous.
get tired, I'll just be like, and then what'll happen?
I just don't understand. I don't understand why Skype has decided to use 100% of my CPU today. Like, it is Skype that's the issue, and it's gone. Like normally, it would go, okay, we're gonna use about 50% of your CPU, but today it's gone, nah, whole thing. So I don't really know how to fix this.
It's not. It wouldn't work if I.
Sorry, I didn't hear that. You broke up.
No. I don't even know what I was thinking, to be honest. Forget about it.
I'm going to go to my settings. There must be something in the settings. Maybe it's had an update. Upon closing, keep Skype running. Yeah, whatever. General account profile. No. Appearance. No. Audio video. This will be the one. No. I hate the fact that it shows audio video, but what happens if we... What happens if I do this? Ooh. Is this any better? Like, you might not be able to see anything, but...
Can't see you now.
Yeah, you can't. Wait, this will fix it. Can you see me now? And I'm really like weirdly white balanced.
No, I'm just seeing LH. Just your icon.
What about... Oh.
There you are.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah, low res.
Okay. Oh, it's going back up again. We might have fixed it. We might not have. No, fucked.
Oh.
I'll tell you what else I'm going to do. Well, it's sorted out the CPU usage, but it hasn't sorted out the lag. So let me just quickly... I say quickly. So I use buffering.
Is that something that will maybe catch up with itself?
Well, I'm going to turn on my buffering, and then I'm going to turn it off again. And then we'll see. Perhaps, maybe... We're just going to run with this.
Yeah. Sweet.
How are you?
I'm good, man. Yeah. I'm good. Been getting some video made.
Yeah?
Yep, it's been encouraging. It's gone better than last time.
Tell me
so
more.
far. Well, so I'm recording the studio version of Deep Blue.
Yeah.
And after the many struggles and failures of my last attempted video, you and I had a phone call where we decided that I needed to just get shit done. And so I built up a Logic template based around just getting the rough recordings down, just figuring out the composing really basically, and after that point, going through and being meticulous and Just learn when to be more of a perfectionist and when to just get ideas down.
Okay.
So yeah, video's going really well. I've been sort of filming one day and editing the next. Sort of 3 half-hour-ish video files, and I've started working on the third one in the actual edit.
Cool.
So that's good. Yeah, it's just going a lot more smoothly.
Nice. Well, I've not been as productive this week. Well, I say that I've just not been visually productive. So I haven't streamed at all this week just because I didn't have the motivation. I just didn't have the motivation. I don't know. And you were saying while we were like sorting out the stream earlier that I've done this basically like nearly every day for about 4 months. So maybe I just need to stop for a little while. And I think you're probably right. I just need to not do it for a little while. So yeah, so maybe I'll take next week off as well and just see what happens there. But I've still been making music. Yeah, I've recorded a song, and it was I know that one thing that I know I needed to do for this record was to record a song about my dad. And so for those who don't know, my dad passed away very recently. Not due to COVID or anything, but I wasn't able to see him because of COVID and all that stuff. So it's just one of those things. And the way I deal with stuff is that I write songs about it. So I need to write a song, but I also was aware that I needed to kind of not do it on stream. Like maybe it's something I need to do more privately. So I took the opportunity of me not streaming, and so I decided to write a song about my dad off stream, and it'll be on the record, but there's just no stream of it. And it's got some of the
on the record.
Off the record, but it's on the record, but it's off the record. Yeah. Can you imagine being in a police investigation and having that be the situation? Look, this is both on and off the record, and I'm like, well, I don't know what to say. Which is why kids, just make sure that if you ever look, unless they tell you why they're arresting you, just shut the fuck up, okay? And that goes for people in the UK as well. Like, just if unless they've said I'm arresting you under suspicion of this, then you shut the fuck up, okay? That's just a PSA. That's just a PSA right now. Just shut the fuck up when you're like under suspicion from police. Don't say shit, okay? And that's coming from a middle-class white man.
They'll get you.
They will fucking get you.
Those sneaky popo.
Yeah, sorry, you were going to say something. I can't remember what.
Well, we'll never know. I can't remember.
It was good that you didn't remember, because I was going to interrupt you every time you tried to say something. I was going to make it a bit.
Oh, well, in that case, I think I do remember.
What was it?
Well, I was
See,
just
now I'm under
thinking
pressure to try and interrupt you every time you do something, and it's going to be a bit weird. Like, I don't even know how I'm going to interrupt you each time. Sorry, carry on.
I mean, you're an actor. I'm sure you'll figure out a way.
Well, I try to figure out things on the fly, but sometimes, like, improvisation isn't exactly my strong suit. I don't really go to the same place each time. Sorry, no, I do.
Hesitation.
Oh.
And Theo called in with hesitation, gained a point for doing so.
Mornington Crescent, and I win.
Way! Different universe. We don't.
Fuck. Oh no. Well, one of them references the other, but the other one doesn't reference the other.
Yeah. So yeah.
So for those of you who don't know, we're talking about Radio 4 quiz comms, and there is Just a Minute, which is a quiz com on the radio where you have to talk for 1 minute about a given topic without repetition, hesitation, deviation, or fabrication. Is that right?
It's just hesitation, repetition, and deviation. Because like fabrication, you could say is deviation from the truth.
Okay. Yep. And if you hesitate like I just did, or use the word like I just did, then someone buzzes in and points out that you've broken one of the rules, and that person can then say, right, I'm going to continue. And the last person to talk when the minute is up wins the point. And it's a really, really fun show. And then
Lawrence Hobbs, talking as the whistle went, gained that extra point for doing so, and he's now 2 points ahead of Theo Dehaney.
It's just a shame that he lost 2 points earlier for deciding that he was going to wear that awful tie. Anyway.
There's a bit that I remember, one of my favourite bits. It was a really old recording of I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue.
This
and
is
they've
the other
just
one,
done
by
a
the way.
game.
Sorry I Haven't a Clue is the other one that we're talking about.
Yeah,
which is an improvisation show where you are I feel like they're, at least the one that we went to see was more scripted than I was expecting. So the one we went to see, I think was
like an anthology.
Yeah, it was like a greatest hits. They were just repeating some of the good episode bits, which was a little bit upsetting because I wanted to see them come up with some stuff off the.
You got a kazoo out of it though. But one of my favorite bits from I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue. They just finished a round of something, and it was Humphrey Lyttelton when he was still alive and doing the show. He said they just finished. And he said, "That went awfully well. Now let's try something else." Oh, hang on a sec. I read that wrong. That went awfully well. Now let's try something else. It's so good.
Oh no. Sorry, just replying. Keep talking about something. Anyway, so I decided the other day that I was going to see how much I could commit to this bit and even try and set you up for some traps by telling you to continue talking about something. I am genuinely going to reply to a text really quick, though.
Okay. This isn't a trap.
Only one way to find out, my friends. What am I going to say in this text? So
I'm just going to talk about the show. I'm just going to talk about the show, and I'm going to steamroll through you, man. So this is a show called Why Can't I Do Music Good? This is Lawrence's show. I am a guest on Lawrence's show. Lawrence and I have been friends for a very long time, and we help each other out however we can making music. And that's why we're doing this stream, because we're not very good musicians, and we're asking the question, why can't I do music good? And why isn't my English well?
I'm really glad you did that, because I totally forgot to do that at the beginning of the show. So I'm glad you're here to wipe up my bottom.
Bro, we haven't been friends for that long.
I don't even know why the word bottom came out. I just said I was gonna say to wipe up my shit, but that's just as bad.
No, I'd prefer
to clean up my shit. That's what I wanted to say. To clean up after me. So essentially, my brain had already gone through that train of thought. My brain had already gone. Like I said, to clean up after me. What sort of stuff did he clean up? Sick, vomit, shit. To clean up shit like a baby. And then and then I just said to clean up to wipe my bottom. So. So sometimes that happens. So yeah, I recorded a song off stream. I've been doing a lot of stuff off stream actually. I was telling you that I've been learning how to scream. Now I think that actually me saying learning how to scream is an incorrect descriptor of what I was learning to do. So I was learning how to sing with vocal fry. Does that make sense?
With vocal what?
Fry. F-R-Y.
Vocal fry.
Yeah. So punk bands do it a lot, but it's singing, being able to hit a pitch, and giving your voice some distortion as well. So whereas screaming is just the more rhythmic thing of just pushing your voice so hard that it completely distorts. Fry is, you can still recognize it as being sung, and it's very much being sung. It's not even like a case of is he singing or is he doing something else. You look at it and you're like, he's singing.
Can you provide an example? Because I think I know what you mean, but I'm not sure.
So anything by the band Iron Chic.
Can you sing an example?
Not without warming up.
You...
Okay.
Okay.
Let me hold on. Is there a song?
I mean,
there
no
might be a
pressure.
song. There might be a song on the actual "Why Can't I Do Music Good" playlist that does it.
Okay.
Hold on, there probably is. So just while I'm searching for one, do you want to plug the playlist?
Yeah, so this is the playlist. It's called Why Can't I Do Music Good? Songs We Can't Get Enough Of. You can find this on Spotify. Every week, Lawrence and I have a couple of songs that we highlight, and we talk about, it might be that we like them because of their production. It might be because of the mix or lyrics. It might just be because it's fun to listen to, or it gets stuck in our heads, which is the case with one of them this week. But it's just songs we can't get enough of. So those songs are updated every week. I'm not sure if Lawrence has put them on put this week's on the playlist yet.
Yes, I have. Yeah,
Fantastic. So you can go and find that on Spotify, and you can see what sort of music we've been talking about, because we can't show it on the stream, sadly.
So the bad news is that I couldn't find a song that has the vocal fry in it. I could. So, Foo Fighters. Foo Fighters, a really good example. All my life.
Yeah, I immediately thought of All My Life.
Yeah, so that bit.
Done.
So that
on
is
to
more,
the next one.
So that's more screaming. But when he sings the chorus, when he's like,
"Don't let it go to waste,"
that is vocal fry. Yeah.
Oh, I can do that. Yeah.
But there's like this weird technique that you have to do, where you can turn it into screaming if you want to, depending on how much air you force through your vocal cords.
That's cool.
And I'm going to step back from the mic because you have to. So what I was telling you on the phone, that you actually have to learn how to yodel in order to scream. So if you feel free to do this with me, and anyone who's listening at home, feel free to do this with me, because I used to think that screaming was just tensing up your vocal cords to the point where it just distorted.
Yeah.
Doing that sort of thing, but very loud. But that is not the case at all, and that is how you damage your vocal cords. So this is another PSA today. Don't do that. If you want to scream, you're going to damage your vocal cords. Hold on. I'm going to set my webcam to buffer again, because and also I'm going to lower its resolution to try and help things out. And also it makes my face look thinner, so that's all right. Okay, so yeah. What was I going to say? Yeah, so first off, you have to find your vocal break. So the way you do that is by going from low to high, and then the point where your voice sort of starts to crack a little bit. That's mine. That's what mine is. It's between your chest voice and your head voice. And what you do then is you find where your vocal break is, and then you keep skipping over the line between your chest voice and your head voice. And you keep doing that until you feel like a bit of distortion come through. And then it's normally on the chest voice that comes through, and that bit you accentuate. So then what you do is you have to add. So when there's that sketch in Family Guy where you have those middle class people talking in a boarding school, and there's one of them that just drones on at the end of a sentence. You have to mix that yodely thing where you found your crack with that, and that's vocal fry. And then the bit you have to master is trying to do that to a pitch. So So it's like, I can't do it. Hold on. And then you got to do that to a pitch.
To anyone just tuning in, look, you see the padded walls behind Lawrence there.
They're not there for show, guys. They're not there for show. They have function.
So you've got to get the
yeah,
and then the
yeah, and yeah, and then you got to sing it.
Sing what? Okay. Mary had a little lamb, little lamb. Is it that?
Kind of like that. Does your throat hurt though?
No, not really.
Cool, that's fine. Then you're doing it right.
And this week on skills I didn't know I had, will never use.
Well, you might use it. You might use it. So I've realised, yeah, you might because you aren't necessarily going for the scream. You might just be going for the vocal fry, like. So if you do that, and I've realised that it's actually your voice is an instrument. Therefore, these are techniques maybe you should, at the very least, know how to do. So I've been trying to do it off the back of that very, very raucous song that I recorded, which I've now decided I'm not going to even put in the album. Yeah, I don't know. It just didn't feel right. After I put it in a place that it would have worked in. I listened to the whole album a few times, and I was like, no, this doesn't work. This isn't working. But I do feel like maybe I did need to write that track. So yeah. I'm also seeing if my cool. So I think I've sorted out my webcam now. Right. Yeah. So the vocal fry thing, it's so difficult to do because like that being able to hit a pitch in that is where the skill comes in. And an artist that does it really well, Dave Grohl. I'm going to mention them again. Jesse Lacey from Brand New does it incredibly well. So that's what I've been learning to do, and it's
cool.
It's been very interesting.
I can see that being really useful as well, actually.
And it's a really good way of just adding a little bit extra to a chorus vocal, like because
saturation.
Yeah,
it's like analog saturation.
Exactly, because like. In the songs that we've written, there's often very, very, very quiet bits, and there's normal loud bits, and then there are loud bits, but sometimes you do need to turn up to 11. You do, and that vocal fry turns it up to 11. It's like tambourine in drummer. Like I don't understand how that works. It just does. Pro tip, if you guys are ever using Logic and using the drummer function, and you want to push your drums really, really hard. In fact, and you think you've gone all the way, don't turn the volume envelope up. Don't turn the volume up. Just add a tambourine. Just add a tambourine on the highest setting, and it just pushes it a little bit further. Pro tip.
Trust, bro.
Just trust. Just try it. Try it. Just have it build up, and then have it build up as far as you think you can make your drummer track go, and then add the tambourine, and it just pushes it over the edge. Yeah, so also as part of this whole Scream journey, I mean, like I said, I was listening to my album in full, and it made me have a look at the record as an entire sort of catalogue, and it forced me to rename some of the songs, and I didn't realise how attached I could get to names of songs, like. Names of songs that I knew were placeholders in the first place. So there are some songs that you know of by other names. So I don't know if any of these ring a bell, but one of the songs that we've been working on was called The Trees.
The Trees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is now called Evil Things, which I think is a much better name.
How did The Trees go? How did Evil Things go?
You can call them by either name. It's fine. I know that you know it by.
I'm not gonna dead name your songs, man.
Okay. It's the one that goes.
I identify as Evil Things now.
I am Fruity Loops. No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Yeah, don't dead name FL Studio.
Oh, we were talking about today. Meg and someone she works with was talking about Mandela Effect. Mandela Effect.
Mandela Effect. Oh yeah.
And Fruity Loops, or sorry, Fruit Loops is part of the Mandela Effect because some people think it used to be spelled as fruit, as in the real fruit, rather than FROOT.
Right.
Funny fact, though, you know how Walker's Crisps changed their colour? Cheese and onion, salt and vinegar, they swapped the colours around.
Did they? When?
I reckon it was about 1995. Because
Okay.
I remember
Right.
it
Okay.
happening. I remember it happening. But
I don't.
over 50% of the population can remember it happening. But if you go to the Walker's website, they deny it happening.
Ooh.
Bring back, and it also makes more sense. Why would blue not be salt and vinegar? It's salt and vinegar on everything else apart from Walker's Crisps. Why is it green? Green should be cheese and onion, as far as I'm concerned. Makes more sense to
Well,
me.
I guess so. I don't know. I don't know if it's just like an attachment I've got in my head. But I agree with you. But I don't know why I agree with you.
Okay, that's all right. Yeah. So
Just agree to agree.
back to the
Anyway, back to
songs.
mastering.
Back to the song. Anyway, back to mastering. Yeah, back to the songs. A lot of them have kept their names. The Swampy song is now called "Settled in Roanoke," which I think is quite a cool name.
That's a cool name.
Cocktails and Kill Bill, I just hate the name of. I don't like. I've realised I don't like names with the word "and" in, where it's just having two articles next to each other with the word "and" in the middle. I don't like it as a naming convention. I've realised. So there are sometimes when it really, really works. So Papa Roach's album Between Angels and Insects works really well as an album title. I think that's a great album title. But
just naming two things.
Yeah, 21 Pilots' new
Noun.
album Scales and Ice. I think that's stupid.
It is. They're just buying a concept album about working at a fish market.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm surrounded by scales and ice.
Oh yeah, I was gonna. So this song that I wrote with my dad is gonna be the last track on the album, and I've called it "The Great Arcade," which I think is a really cool name for a song. The reason I called it "The Great Arcade" is because it starts off talking about about my dad's death and the idea of people watching over you after you die. But I don't believe that's a thing, because if heaven is supposed to be perfect, why would they allow you to see your people you like doing bad stuff? So and then it goes on.
There are certain things a father should not see his son do.
One of them is stick his finger up his bum.
For example,
like just pulling it out.
It's not pulling it out that's the problem.
Oh, depends on what happens after that. Anyway, chocolate fingers. It then becomes moves on to being a song about how I'm terrified of dying, and how that's a juxtaposition, because I'm a Christian, I believe in God, so why aren't I looking forward to the day that I die? And I'm just not looking forward to the day that I die. I don't want to fucking do it. This is bullshit. Why the fuck do I have to die? Why can't I fucking stay here?
Let someone else do it.
Yeah, why can't someone else fucking die for my sins? I mean, for me. So there's a lyric in it that says, hold on, let me read out the lyrics so I don't bastardize my own quote. In fact, I'm going to read a few of my favourite lyrics. If I can fucking find them. So
Waiting.
yeah,
Right.
you think that as a God-fearing man,
I'm going to sing a song to fill the.
no, stop it. Stop trying to plug yourself. Gross. Take your finger out. You'd think that as a God-fearing man, I'd welcome the day that I'd die. That I couldn't wait for my works to translate to tokens for the great arcade in the sky. I think it's a really good lyric.
That is a really good lyric.
Another good lyric that I like. After so many years, you'd think I'd come to terms with how no matter the length of the rope, the part where all the fibers begin is the part where the last one broke. And where's the other one?
That's really good.
You'd think that I'd find peace in my heavenly feast with the man in whom my image was made, but I'd rather sit tight like a deer in headlights, like a road sits still under the parade.
Oh.
Mm.
Oh.
So there's some really good
fire with those lyrics.
Yeah, I'm really proud of those lyrics. I think they're fantastic analogies, and they come from a place that I want my music to go. So those lyrics
really
I think are awesome. But here's the thing: I still haven't come up with a fucking name for the album, and I don't know at what point in the process I'm meant to have come up with a name for the album.
All right, so can you tell me? Can you give me a summary of what the album's about?
Yes. So
if you had to describe the album to someone.
Okay, so it's not about things that have happened. It's about the way things that have happened have specifically affected me over the last couple of years. So the reason I feel like I have to make that differentiation is because there are a lot of artists that just write about things that have happened, or write about people they've happened to, or write about events. And some of them are biographical, some of them are more surrealist, but my specific storytelling style is that I write about an event and how the fuck that event relates to me, because I'm a selfish bastard. I'm very inward focused. So yeah, it's about what stuff that's happened to me, or how events have transpired to affect me. I know that. I mean, if it helps, I know that also that the album cover that we've decided on is that we're going to be going to a boat graveyard. I think it's about an hour's drive away, and we're going to go there and take some pictures there. We are probably also going to be constructing some sort of stick effigy, some sort of pagan type thing, and using that as part of the photo shoot. And obviously Foxy Lady will be there as well. And for those of you who don't know, Foxy Lady is the person you see in my my profile image on Twitch and YouTube. She's become like the brand for my music, and she is going to feature quite a lot on artwork and stuff. A bit like Chuck for Incubus.
Good old Chuck.
Good old Chuck. So, or Eddie for Iron Maiden. So that's. Oh, was another good one as well. Is it? Or all the members of the Gorillaz, for all the members of the Gorillaz. So, it was Dr. Doom for MF Doom. Yeah, so that's the album artwork. That's the theme. I've got the song titles as well, because so there's a few ways I can go about this. Either I can name the album one of the song titles, which I think is fine, but I'd rather not if I can avoid it, because I'm still trying to make this piece be as artful as possible. And I don't think unless if one of the songs perfectly encapsulates the mood or the meaning of the album, then I don't think it's worth it otherwise. I don't mind naming the album after a lyric in the album, but I don't want to have to go through all the lyrics right now. I don't know if any of these would carry on. No.
What song is would you say represents the album best?
Probably. I'm not sure. So, because Evil Things is about a bad dream I had once. 10 tons of weight is. It might be 10 tons of weight, actually. 10 tons of weight, what the fuck is that about? That's about not trusting people, governments mostly. Under the Bus is about not trusting friends. Digital Clothes is a personal story for you and me, so I'm not going to talk about what that's about. Settled in Roanoke is me just letting my mind allow myself to just come up with a song that was about. It ended up being about my battle with whether or not I believe in God. Indicators of the End Times is just essentially a metaphorical list of bad stuff that has happened. Probably, I reckon it's more to do with the pandemic than anything else. Venomous is about the Kill the Bill protests and the Sarah Everard situation. Meant to Be the Sun is about some of the stuff that went on in the pub. Brother Abel is just a retelling of the Cain and Abel Bible story in a modern setting, which is probably one of my favorite songs on the album. Little Throat is more about some stuff that happened in the pub after all the other stuff happened in the pub. And The Great Arcade is about my relationship with death.
Okay.
So,
but you would say 10 tons of weight. Do you reckon?
10 tons of weight all Settled in Roanoke. I don't think I could call the album Settled in Roanoke though, because
Weight in Roanoke, 10 tons of Roanoke.
Settled in Weight. Ew. Yeah. I mean, the song that lends itself immediately to being the best title for an album is The Great Arcade. But I think it's too, I don't like it as it sounds too pretentious.
Yeah.
In fact, all of these songs sound too pretentious if they were the name of the album. They're fine as songs, but if they're the name of the album, they sound too pretentious.
Well, I thought sounded pretty all right, but then that's a bit, I don't know. I thought, like, first impression when you said Venomous was that sounds like a sort of a plausible name to call the album, given what it's about, basically. But I'm now doubting that.
Yeah, I think that Venomous, again, Venomous is fine for a song name, but for an album name, I think it calls too much attention to itself. Like it kind of stresses its own importance.
Sure.
And also, I've got to remember that this has got to tie in with the artwork as well. I'm not going to use anything that's in another language because that in itself I feel is pretentious, unless it's like not for a first album. I think other languages are pretentious. Wait, hold on. That sounds really fucking weird. Let me clarify that. Because I'm not just saying, hello, anyone who does not speak English. If it's your first album should be in English. As an English person, using
Don't be
a language...
pretentious.
Yeah. Stop it. Stop it. Right now. Stop being pretentious. As an English person, my first album should represent the fact that I am an English speaker and therefore should be in English. As in, the title should be in English. After then, like this album is an art piece. After then, my collection of work becomes an art piece. So then I can start calling it more pretentious stuff because it's part of a larger body of work. But at the moment, this is only one thing, as well as an EP that you can find on Spotify, Google Lawrence Hobbs, or any of your chosen streaming platforms. So always be plugging.
Always be fun.
I had.
So, go on.
I was going to say I hadn't. So thinking about that, there is an element of conflict in every single one of these songs. So Evil Things being about Bad Dream I Had, but there's zombie fighting in that. 10 Tons of Weight being my conflict between my conservative roots and trusting the government. Under the Bus being a conflict between my liberal roots and trusting my friends. Digital Clothes being about trust in my own family. Settled in Roanoke being about to do with how much I trust my own belief. Indicators of the End Times is just living in a pandemic. Venomous being how much we as a society trust the people that are around us. Meant to Be the Sun is about trusting in father figures and people in authority over you. Brother Abel is to do with the trust between siblings, or a relationship between siblings, not necessarily trust involved there. And The Great Arcade is so there's juxtapositions, there's tension going on in every single one of those. So maybe there needs to be some sort of war or wartime analogy. I don't know. I like I've always enjoyed albums that have the word strange in the title. Stranger Should Meet Here, Stranger Than Fiction, Strange Food. But I've already done a long album title as well. So my EP was Leave Me for Worms, Don't Leave Me for Dead, which is quite a long album title. So I think I need to shorten it down to maybe 3 or 4 words in this one.
I mean, you can. I mean, if these are all, if you're wanting the sort of war imagery and these are all sort of conflicts, this is sort of like a compilation of strange battles, which is what you would call a strange war.
Strange Battles is pretty good. Okay, cool. So Strange Battles. So we could, yeah. So that's an interesting point to continue thinking about this from.
Yeah. I'm just trying to. I'm on a list, an Ennui magazine, which is great. Ennui magazine. Ouh là là, je suis un château.
Ennui. Je suis fatigué.
Je suis très fatigué. Je suis très fatigué.
For all our French viewers, I apologize. For all our French viewers, for the zero French viewers that we have, I'm sincere, sorry. What sort of list are you looking at? What is it?
Well, it's just like 10 clever ideas for naming an album. I mean, they're not number clever. 8 is use an album name generator, and I thought, oh, so clever. So
well, I've tried it, and all it does is it takes other artists' albums and then puts your given
chops them up.
Yeah, and puts your given articles into the spaces. So I don't feel. Yeah, I've tried to do that, and there are some things that have become great from random generators. Vsauce being one of them. Have you seen the short that Michael did about Vsauce?
Nope.
So Vsauce he famously got from a random name generator. If you translate the word wisdom into Dutch, it's Weesauce.
Weesauce.
Yep, pronounced Vsauce.
That's Vsauce.
So it's Vsauce is a channel about wisdom, and they are called Wisdom accidentally. Pretty damn cool.
Well. That is cool.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, sorry, we got so back to mastering. So yeah, I also feel like I need one more song. I still feel like the album's incomplete. I do need one more song, but I don't think it necessarily needs to be a song with lyrics. I think there is possibility just to do an art piece right in the smack bang in the middle of the album.
That's cool.
I don't
intermission.
Yeah, kind of almost like an intermission. Yeah.
Grab some snacks.
I think I'm just going to play around with Alchemy, and just see what cool synth noises we can get, any glitchy, weird, spooky stuff, and then just have that be a theme for a minute-long track, just an interlude.
Yeah, man. Alchemy's fun to, synths are fun to fuck about with.
Alchemy is particularly fun to fuck around with because of that.
Yeah, I love it.
Because of that fucking display in the bottom left. That's what makes it fun for me. Just the fact that it has loads of different timbre for the same sound.
It's effectively 6 different patches.
Yeah, and it's more than that actually. It's
8, isn't it? Sorry.
Yeah, well, it's 8, but also you get all the ones in between as well.
Blends in between, yeah.
So I think that's absolutely incredible. By the way, if anyone's chatting at the moment, I haven't got chat up, so sorry.
I've got it.
Have you got it up?
I doubt it though, to be honest.
I highly doubt it.
Nobody.
Absolutely.
Welcome to the chat room.
Hey guys, thanks. So yeah. Well, you were going to talk about Protomen.
Protomen. Yeah, let's talk about Protomen.
Now, how do you pronounce it as in Spider-Man, or do you pronounce it as in Spider-Man?
Protomen.
Protomen.
That's their line of pharmaceutical drugs.
Well, I've written it down as Propmen, so that's already bad. What about PR Ottoman?
PR Ottoman. Ooh, I like that.
PR Otter. Me. One way of going about it.
Prot. Oh man.
Anyway, about the Potato Man.
So I found this band a little while ago. It popped up on a playlist of mine, and it was a really interesting song called "The Hounds," and you sort of get the sense that the song itself is part of like a really big story.
Yeah.
So I looked into the Protomen, and I think this would be up your street. So the Protomen are an American rock band who started their career on and are perhaps most widely known for composing concept albums loosely based on the video game series Mega Man.
Ooh, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah. So their names are largely references to pop culture films, song titles, and fictional characters. The group members refer to themselves as storytellers creating a rock and roll fable. I'm just going to tell you the names of the members.
Yep.
So we've got Commander B. Hawkins.
Nice.
Raoul Panther III.
Okay.
Murphy Weller, which is like by far the most ordinary one. Sir Dr. Robert Backer. Shock Magnum.
Shock Magnum sounds like a sex toy.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. Like or a porn star. Gambler Kirk Douglas. Reanimator and Gambler Kirk Douglas.
But Kirk Douglas is a name, right? Kirk Douglas in itself is an actual person.
Oh, Kirk Douglas, yeah.
But this is his gambling.
But this is like surname Kirk Douglas, one word.
So I thought that it was a case of Kirk Douglas was a thing, but also the part of him that likes to gamble, he goes by a different name.
Oh,
It's
gambler
like,
Kirk Douglas is in
yeah.
this band.
So it's like it goes to Vegas. It's like, Kirk Douglas. No, this is gambler Kirk Douglas. Set me up
Yeah, I
at the
don't know.
table. Kirk Douglas, you've won. No, gambler Kirk Douglas has won. Kirk
Okay,
Douglas
so
lost a long time ago.
gambler Kirk Douglas is a woman. To be fair, there's no way of knowing that.
No.
Um. Anyway, so
Someone in the chat is like,
yeah. So this song, "The Hounds,"
yeah.
the album that it's on, the concept album, is based on. Let me actually read it. Yeah. So in the band's first album, the Protomen, Dr. Wily is represented as an Orwellian ruler over a dystopic city full of humans who are too scared to stand up to his control. Dr. Light creates a perfect man, an unbeatable machine, Protoman, to fight to free the city. But Protoman is destroyed by the overwhelming power of Wily's armies. Defeated and despairing, Dr. Light then creates a second son, Mega Man, whom he attempts to dissuade from battle. Mega Man runs away from home and confronts his brother in an apocalyptic concluding battle. The album has been described by the band as the sound of the end of the world and straddles the line between chiptune and hard rock. And it's just really like that album is great. There's a track on it which is Dr. Light talking to Protoman, explaining how, you had a brother and he was a hero, but he died because of me, and I'll be grieving for that forever, and I won't let you share his fate, so you have to stay here and do what I say and all that. And it's just really, really cool that they've got this story. So very much like Coheed and Cambria's graphic novels.
Yeah.
Well, Claudio's graphic novels.
Yeah.
Where you've got Claudio, and then you've got Ryan. It's like, is that his name? Willem Ryan.
Yes.
The Archmage. Yeah, the bad guy. Because I always think that Ryan is not a great name for a villain.
And yet he has been the name of several villains. Like the one from BioShock. I forgot his name.
Oh,
Andrew
Adam
Ryan. Andrew Ryan. Either way, golf clubs to the head. Spoiler alert. Maybe Ryan is a surname. Jack Ryan. Oh wait, no, that's a hero. I've always found first names as surnames to be very strange. Like if you add the word son onto the end of that name, it's fine because I'm English and that's how it works. But if you're like, hello, Theo Andrew, doesn't work. Hello, Theo Andrewson. That was fine.
My dad's name, so I'd be Andrewson anyway.
Yeah, you would. That's the first name that came to my head as well.
Theo Andrewson.
But if you're like, Jeff, hello. But Jeff Jeffson is a lot better.
Yeah, but you'd still you'd hate your parents if they called you Jeff Jeffson.
Well, try saying that to Chris Christopherson.
Or it'd be worse if they called you Jefferson Jeffson.
Or Sam Samson.
Sam Samsung. You know,
Sam Samson
he actually,
sung the Sam song. Some. Sorry, that got almost offensive there. Yeah? Is that what you're going to say?
More or less.
Sorry about that. It's interesting how many artists have done like concept albums based on like popular culture. So you've got Coheed and Cambria, Fight Star with their Neon Genesis Evangelion stuff. And I can't think of any more. Fuck.
So many.
So there are loads.
So many.
Concept. Googling concept albums on
concept googling
culture.
So while you're doing that, Protomen also did a Night of Queen. So they've where they perform a bunch of Queen songs.
Oh.
And like because there are so many of them, and because it's that sort of style, it is good. They are good covers for the most part.
Oh my god. Okay. So concept as okay. I think that Wikipedia's definition of concept albums is very loose.
Okay.
In popular music, a concept album is an album that is unified by a theme, which can be instrumental, compositional, narrative, or lyrical. So,
Jesus Christ.
yeah.
This is a concept album in that I wrote all the songs on it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Because the first, I was like, oh, Aesop Rock has a concept album. So does Against Me. Oh, Against Me has another concept album? What the... I can understand the Alan Parsons Project having a concept album, because they're all concept albums. And then it's like Alice Cooper has 5 concept albums. And then fucking Angels and Airwaves has... Although one of the albums is called Love, and the other one's called Love Part 2, so I can... Yeah. Arcade Fire have 4 concept albums. Arctic Monkeys have 2 concept albums. And that's just all the ones with the beginning of the letter A. Let's go for D. Apparently, Daft Punk's Discovery and Daft Punk's Homework concept albums. I wouldn't be able to fucking tell you that because they have very little lyrics. I'm pretty sure there's 18 words in the whole of that album.
Well, I mean, conceivably they were all written around the same story.
Death Cab for Cutie's
I don't know. I don't know the album.
is supposed to be a concept album, but it's fucking not.
What is supposed to be a concept album?
Death Cab for Cutie's Transatlanticism.
Oh.
Hold on. Let's go into this a bit further because I definitely don't think that's a concept album.
No.
Literally the first sentence. The record is a concept album exploring a theme of long distance romance.
Brave face. Be an adult.
I don't know what's being said. What
Dick's
happened?
in the chat.
Dick's in the chat. How
Yeah.
dare she?
Not an unimpressive one, but still Dick's in the chat.
Spam.
Spam. It's muter.
Well, I don't have access to the chat at the moment because I'm trying to conserve my computer's hard drive. So anything that happens to the chat from now on is all Theo's fault.
Oh.
So
Power.
So any blame to be done needs to be headed towards Theo. So I'll tell you what. We've got a little bit of time before we go to a break. Do you want to talk about NFTs?
Yes.
Okay. So people like NFTs are a thing that's just very, very, very recent, like in the last 6 months.
There's something to do with Kings of Leon.
There's something to do with everything, my friend. So it's they've become popular and have reached the public zeitgeist in the past 6 months. They've been going around for a couple of years, but it's only in the last 6 months that we've actually started really getting at them. And NFT doesn't matter what it stands for because the name of what it stands for does not tell you diddly shit about what it is. So I'm not even going to repeat what it stands for. All you need to know is it's an NFT. So an NFT is a packet of data that, as part of that packet of data, has a blockchain attached to it. And the blockchain consists of all the previous owners of that packet of data. Okay? Mm-hmm. And what NFTs are being used for in the public consciousness at the moment is a way of being able to own digital objects, in replacement for being able to go and buy physical objects in a pandemic. So, really good example. There was a Banksy piece that was bought, digitized, and then destroyed. They destroyed the original. There is this digitized piece of Banksy artwork. in that Banksy's data is a blockchain of the people who have owned that piece of artwork. And when you buy the artwork from somebody else, you pay the money, they send you the artwork, and then the blockchain will represent the fact that you are now the owner of that artwork. The last person doesn't own the artwork anymore.
Yeah.
They only own a copy of the artwork.
But I mean, yeah, so that's like, I remember doing a bit of reading about blockchain a while ago, and it is a really good way to effectively, it's impossible to steal if you're buying through blockchain. So you can buy a car through blockchain,
Yeah.
and immediately it will be yours.
Hmm.
It will cease to belong to the previous owner, and it will be yours. And there's, you can't change the plates on it because tagging and all that. I'm just wondering why you would want a picture of a Banksy piece which you can sell to somebody else, but then you still have a copy of. I don't understand why it's any different than just sharing around a picture of a...
So there are some skeptics who believe that this is a scam. And that it's just a way to attach value to something that doesn't actually have any value. So if I was to draw a picture on my computer and attach a blockchain to it, or to find, I don't know exactly what the terms are because I'm no means an expert.
To blockchainify it.
Yeah. If I was to take this digital piece of art, or this scribble as it would be if I did it, and I was to sell it to you for a certain amount of money, because of the fact that it is an original piece, it has value. Because because of the fact that it is a limited piece, it has value.
Right.
So essentially, I think that what people are doing is that in a pandemic, art dealers are not able to go out and buy art. So they're finding a way to still buy and sell art and make money from it without having to go and buy it. I think that's where it started.
But I still don't think I understand, because if you can only own a digital representation of that art and the artwork itself is destroyed, when you open your galleries up again, what are you just going to have a laptop with all the pictures on?
I may have used a bad first example, because the piece by Banksy is an NFT, but is not a typical example.
Okay.
A typical example would be if someone made a picture on using Photoshop, let's say, saved a copy of that picture, or saved a picture, and then sold that picture to a collector.
Okay.
So it's always been digital.
I see. Right. Okay.
Sorry. So my initial example was the flawed piece of information.
I see. Okay. Well, I mean, that makes sense. Yeah, definitely. But I mean, in cases of, if it is being used to buy and sell physical pieces of artwork in digital form, then it just seems a little...
No, it's not being used as that. It's literally just a way of making more money out of ones and zeros.
Sure.
And the reason why the Banksy piece was what happened to that happened is because the original was destroyed, but the art was supposed to be in the process of digitizing it. That was its art piece. In turning it into an NFT, that was the art piece.
I see.
So yeah, so if I was to buy it, and then you were to buy it off me, and then someone else to buy it off you, there would be a digital record of its previous owners and who sold it to when. And sure. I think there's something that means that you get to keep the piece, but it becomes not original anymore. So I think it alters. So when you sell it on, it alters the code of the piece. So I would still have a picture. I would still have a digital picture, but you would now have the original, and I would be registered as having a copy of it.
Sure. And anybody who saw your picture would know intrinsically that it was not the original.
Yeah, and it's in one way it's really cool because it means that now we have a better way of protecting digital work.
Yeah.
Because at the moment, you can go to DeviantArt, copy and paste a picture that somebody has done, and say, "This is mine. I did this."
Mm.
And until somebody does a reverse image search, that you can't be proved wrong. But if this was to apply to all digital media, if you were to register a piece of art that you created as a piece of digital art, then this blockchain would apply to it. It would have value, admittedly very little value if it was me, and you would be able to protect your own intellectual property by there being an assigned blockchain to it. So yeah, so that's what an NFT is, and that's the reason why people are going mental for it at the moment is because it uses the same technology as Bitcoin and is being treated as a cryptocurrency.
Right.
So because blockchains are used in NFTs and in cryptocurrency, anyone who's interested in Bitcoins has had a little sneak peek into the world of NFTs. And the way that, and there are markets opening for it, so people there's an art market which is a lot like the Bitcoin market, where they're like, oh, I have someone says I have a Bitcoin and it's worth this much money. Well, I have an NFT. It's just it's a piece of art. There is one of it. It is worth a certain amount of money, and I it has value. I can trade with this
Trade
NFT.
this for Bitcoin.
Well, I don't know what. So I think people are actually paying actual money for it at the moment. But I think you probably could. I think you probably could trade it with Bitcoin because it seems like those two things are meant to work together.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it makes sense. That's weird. I don't know. I guess I probably have to see something like that working. It's like if you can imagine like in the 80s trying to explain to somebody what the internet is, like, or what the internet will be.
Yeah.
You're like, well, what the fuck?
Well,
What do you mean talk to each other? They're so far away.
So it's a box that helps you shout really loud. Yeah.
Basically, so I talk into the computer, and the computer shouts it at another computer.
Hold on, we got telephones. Why can't you just have a telephone? Well, it uses a telephone line, but okay, but we got those. They're fine. Why do you want them to do more?
So you mean I could call two people? Oh no, you can't use both at once. You got to wait another 20 years for that.
I think the best way of explaining it, or what is it? Not the concept that you're having trouble with; it's the application.
I mean, I get the concept. I guess I kind of get the application. It's one thing. There is a difference between knowing the path and walking the path.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to be getting into NFTs. Just in the same way that I didn't get into Bitcoin, now I kick myself about it. But not as much as the person who fucking paid for pizza with Bitcoin kicks themselves about it. Fucking dickhead.
What, did somebody pay loads and loads of money's worth of Bitcoin for a pizza?
Back when Bitcoin was not worth a lot of money, someone used they had bought like $10 worth of Bitcoin, and it increased in value to $70. So they decided to spend it on pizza.
Yeah. You know what? Like if I could go back in time to a younger version of myself, like a kid, just for a day, I would sit my parents down and I would say, look, please, can you please invest £1 in Google for me? £1 in Google, £1 in Apple. I will never ask you for money again after this.
Yeah,
I'll put you in the best retirement home.
I would do more than that. I would get a whole list of companies. I'd be like, right, okay, so Google. I wouldn't do Apple. Apple would be too expensive for them by then. Because it like.
What sort of year are you talking?
I thought you were talking about before you were born.
Oh no, not before I'm born. I really know, but Apple would still be relatively inexpensive, and it's like in any case, pre-iPod and pre-iPhone, like, because that was when they, like, that was their more modern explosion, was the iPod and then the iPhones.
I would say, yeah, I would say, could you just buy me some Bitcoin? Could you buy me some shares in Uber? In Zoom, but I want you to close it before 2021. And in Amazon, please.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in Spotify. Fucking Spotify.
Oh, definitely Spotify.
Oh, in Snapchat. Fucking hell. Oh, there's loads of little
YouTube.
ones. YouTube. Although that's never been a publicly traded company, has it?
It's part of Google.
Is Google a publicly traded company?
You can trade in Google.
Okay, sick.
Really?
I got really upset this week because the company that are dealing with my investments are no longer going to be dealing with my investments, and I have to withdraw my investments.
Error.
I made £6 in 6 months.
Oh, that's not bad.
It's pretty fucking good. Pretty fucking
It's
good.
not bad. Buy yourself a pick and mix, lad.
No, fuck that. At the range, they have a Millions machine. You remember Millions?
The tiny little.
You can get a tube and you go, I would like a mouthful of blueberry, and then a mouthful of cola, and a mouthful of lemon, a mouthful of bubblegum.
I'd rather have the pick and mix, man.
Chocolate mice all the way down. What is your ideal part of a pick and mix, actually? Because I do have a favourite bit, and it's not in every pick and mix, but if you can find one that does have this thing in it, then laughing.
Okay. Well, I haven't had a pick and mix in a while, but I like they're like American. They're kind of between. They look like fruit pastels, right? But they're between.
You and I are going to have very similar answers to this. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are they like the soft things, like way softer than a fruit pastel, but a similar sort of thing?
No. Mine has the same texture and consistency as your thing, but it's not your thing.
Okay. What's your thing?
Swedish fish.
Swedish fish.
Swedish fish.
I don't think I know the Swedish fish.
I can't describe it to you because it's just a fish shape. It's just a long, gummy fish.
You get herrings in a pick and mix.
Yes.
Pickled pick and mixed herring.
You have to leave your house whenever you open it. Would you ever try one of those?
What, a pickled herring?
Not the pickled herring, but that fish that has been fermented for like fucking a year.
Oh, I don't know, man.
I can't remember what it's called.
I feel like it's one of those things that is like, we did this because we
fermented.
It's like it's something that people will tell you is a delicacy. But it's just
Surströmming. That's it. Surströmming. Surstomming. Ooh, you're frozen. I think it might be me. I might be the cause of your freeze. Hold on, we've lost you completely. As in, we can't even hear you right now. Hold on, let me just re-add your NDI. Still no. And I don't understand why. Oh, how weird is this? It's just decided it doesn't want to deal. This might be time to go for a break. We'll fix this. Yep. Yeah, let's go for a break, and maybe it'll fix itself. So we will be back in 5-10 minutes, I guess. 5-10 minutes, and then yeah, well, once we're back, we'll see if this has sorted itself out. We'll see you in 5 or 10. Goodbye.
1, 2, 3, 4.